All right, let's dive into two massive ideas that people talk about all the time: karma and the law of attraction. Now, on the surface, they can seem like they're totally at odds with each other, but what if they're not? What if they're actually two sides of the very same coin? Today, we're going to uncover that surprising link.
So here's the question that really gets people stuck. Do we get wealthy and successful because of our vibration, like the law of attraction says? Or is it all about our karma, the result of our past actions? It kind of feels like you have to pick a team, right? But maybe, just maybe, they aren't fighting at all.
And yeah, when you look at them side by side like this, they do seem pretty different. The law of attraction is all about your internal feeling, your vibe, creating results out there in the world. Karma, on the other hand, is usually thought of as a cosmic ledger. You do good, you get good. You reap what you sow. It's all about action. But this is where we're going to connect the dots.
To really see how these two fit together, let's use a really simple but powerful analogy. I want you to picture your mind as a glass of water. That's it, just a glass of water. The state of this water is the absolute key to everything we're talking about.
So in Buddha's teachings, there's this concept called boon. Now, you'll often hear it translated as merit, but what it really gets at is a sense of purity, of cleanliness. Think of boon as anything that makes the water in your glass crystal clear. And on the flip side, there's bop. You can think of this as sin or negative karma. And its essence is the total opposite: murkiness, impurity. Bop is anything that kicks up the dirt and makes that water in your glass all cloudy. So you can see how this works, right? A mind that's full of boon, from things like kindness, generosity, just positive thoughts. It's calm, it's peaceful, it's clear. You can see right through it. Everything feels easy.
But a mind clouded by bop, from anger, from greed, from harmful thinking, is just the opposite. It's turbulent, it's heavy, it's confusing. You can't see what's going on. The water is totally agitated.
And here it is. This is the moment it all connects. The state of the water in your glass, whether it's clear or it's murky, that is your vibration. See, karma isn't some separate force that's competing with the law of attraction. Karma is the very thing that sets your vibration in the first place.
So if you remember one thing from this whole explainer, let it be this. Karma is the cause. Your actions, your thoughts, that's the cause. Your vibration, that feeling, the state of your mind, the clarity of the water, that's the effect. One directly creates the other. It's a single process.
Okay, so where is all this karma coming from? Well, it's not just the big stuff we do. According to this way of thinking, it's generated in three ways. Through our physical actions, what we do. Through our verbal actions, what we say. And, this is the big one, through our mental actions, what we think. And get this, because this is pretty mind-blowing. When the Buddha was asked which of these actions is the most powerful, he didn't say the physical ones. He said mental action. Why? Because our thoughts are what are constantly stirring the water in our glass, for better or for worse. They're the direct taproot to the state of our mind.
Let that one sink in for a second. This whole thing isn't about trying to have a high vibration. The actual quality of your mind, the clarity of that water, is the vibration. A clear mind just naturally hums at a high peaceful frequency, and so it attracts similar experiences. A murky, agitated mind can't help but vibrate at a low, chaotic frequency, and guess what it attracts? More chaos.
Okay, I know this can feel a little bit abstract, so let's bring it right down to street level with an example that I guarantee we have all been through. So, picture it. You're driving, and a car just cuts you off. Now, the event itself is totally neutral. A piece of metal moved in front of another piece of metal. It has no meaning. The real power is in what happens next inside of you.
So let's say your water's already a little murky. You're stressed from work, maybe a little resentful. Your instant reaction? Anger. You land the horn, you yell, you feel that cortisol spike. You've just dumped more mud in your water and attracted a stressful reality. Now let's rewind. Same situation, but this time your water is clear. The car cuts you off and you think, wow, that person must be in a real rush, and you just let it go. You keep your peace, you've kept your water clear, and attracted a peaceful reality. Same event, two completely different worlds.
And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? We respond to things not based on what they are, but based on what we are. The car wasn't the problem. The real deciding factor was the state of the mind that was experiencing it. You literally attract a reality that matches your internal state. So the huge takeaway here is that we aren't just passive victims of our karma or our vibration. We are actively creating them in every single moment. And once you know that, you can use it to build some serious positive momentum. Think of it like this. The downward spiral is like getting caught in a little whirlpool. A murky mind reacts negatively, which attracts more negativity, which makes the mind even murkier, and down you go. But the opposite is just as true. A clear mind responds with positivity, which attracts more positive events, which makes the mind even clearer. That's the upward spiral. That's how you build momentum.
So you might be thinking, okay, great, how do I actually clean my water? Well, luckily, the teachings give us a really practical toolkit. Practice giving, not just money, but your time, your attention. Offer forgiveness to others, and just as important, to yourself. This stops you from remudding the water with old stuff. Maintain your ethics. And, so important, practice mindfulness and meditation to let all that sediment just naturally settle. These aren't just nice things to do. They are powerful, practical techniques for clarifying your mind and raising your vibration.
So it turns out, the law of attraction and karma aren't two separate things you have to choose between. They're part of the exact same process. Your actions, and especially your thoughts, create your karmic state. That state is your vibration. And that vibration determines the reality you experience. So the real question isn't about karma versus vibration. The real question is, what's one choice you can make today to start clearing your water?